because I work like 8 hours a day as a waitress, most of my best ideas for these talks come to me while I'm at work. So I write them down on receipt papers. So understand that like most of what I talk to you guys about has come from work in receipt papers that I write down and put in here. So I just wanted to tell you guys that because it's a very personal detail to these talks. But this one just says, lean into fear. Use it as a guide for growth, not something to shy away from. Facing your fears will lead to your greatest liberation. You can see that there. I don't know if I said this in a previous video, but becoming a waitress was the thing I feared the most in the world because it was my fallback plan. From being a ballerina, I was like, oh my God, if I ever am not a ballerina, I can always just wait tables, whatever. Because I really didn't think that being a ballerina would fail. I did not predict that. I did not see that happening. I was working my ass off and I really, really thought I was gonna make it as a ballerina. But I mean, obviously it was my body that betrayed me, not my work ethic. So, riddle me that, cruel universe. No, you're not cruel universe. You've served me well. I just get bitter sometimes because you took away the one thing I loved, but that's fine. That's okay. I'll find other things. But that aside, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, my greatest fear was becoming a waitress. And also, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, most of my greatest fears in life have come true. Like almost everything I've feared has happened. And it is astounding to me because when I became the thing that I feared, or I experienced the thing that I feared, I found the strongest version of myself. And it created a sense of mental liberation that could not be found while I was having that fear. All of us have fears, right? I think, what is it? The two fears that all humans have naturally because of biology is the fear of falling, especially falling from high places. Everyone has that fear because that means death. And then all humans have the fear of loud noises. And these are just two homeostasis mechanisms, correct? So these two things, everyone has them. But every other fear apart from that, that's something you've conjured up within your own mind. So there's obviously 1,000,001 different phobias in the world.
Hi, Editing Bailey here. A few common fears amongst adults that hold most of us back is the fear of public speaking, the fear of being seen, the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of making mistakes, the fear of embarrassing yourself, fear of not being good enough, the fear of rejection, the fear of financial instability, the fear of being alone, the fear of being ill or sick, the fear of the unknown, the fear of change, fear of commitment, fear of being judged, the fear of aging, the fear of intimacy, the fear of being unloved, the fear of being a burden, the fear of making a wrong decision, the fear of losing control, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of being in the spotlight or getting attention, the fear of responsibility. All of these and more are fears that people have. When I talk about fear, this is the kind of fear I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like, oh, if you're afraid of, clowns, you should go hang around clowns. Obviously that might help, exposure therapy to clowns if you're really afraid of them. But what I'm talking about is all these like little limiting beliefs that we hold in our mind that become fear, that hold us back. That's what I'm discussing in this video. When you feel that kind of fear of failure, of being forgotten, of feeling like a burden, of feeling like you're losing control, all of these things, there's ways of leaning into those fears to teach yourself that none of those things are bad.
If we were to become what we fear so deeply, I think that society would benefit as a result. I really do think you need to become the thing that you fear so that you can understand that it's not as bad as you think it is. That's one thing that I think. Another thing is, I see people being so afraid of embarrassing themselves, or they're so afraid to show themselves make a mistake, that I'm like, do it purposefully. Like, do exposure therapy on the things that you fear the most. Go out and purposefully embarrass yourself in a controlled way, but like make a mistake on purpose. pour a glass of water on the floor. Like, there's a girl, I don't remember who she is, but I saw a video of her and she like purposefully breaks glasses on the floor just to show people that like no one's gonna yell at you. You need to let what you fear happen in order for it not to control you anymore. You need to become what you think is impossible. You need to become what you are moderately scared of, because it is going to teach you the most about yourself. You want to grow the most as you can as a person, become the thing you fear. That will give you the most growth of your entire life. Like, fear is just showing us what we need to lean into. Because for me, I'm scared to have a voice, so I'm leaning into this YouTube channel. I am scared to be seen as smart for some reason, so I'm leaning into studying more. I am scared to be athletic because obviously I'm scared to push my body too far and cause it irreparable damage, because I think that going for a run or going for a walk is going to cause irreparable damage to my body, because getting a diagnosis scared the shit out of me, and now I just don't want to move so that I don't hurt my body in any way. But that's not a good way to live. So I need to lean into the fear of exercising. I know that some people are scared to not succeed. They're scared to not reach their goals. And so they overwork. And sometimes those people need to lean into rest because it scares the shit out of them, right? But then some people are afraid to work hard because they think they're going to get too tired or something. Those people need to lean into hard work. I think that whatever you are scared of shows you where you can grow. I have a weird relationship with fear itself because fear got into me at a very early age. And it was fear of my environment as a whole. Like, I learned what fear was a little too early. Like you guys don't know a lot about my story, and I don't tell a lot of my story to a lot of people. I don't think there's a soul alive that knows. There might be 1, 2 people alive that know the whole of my story, but fear got into me too early. And I've carried that fear of life with me. I've carried that fear of life with me since then. And I am afraid of people in general. I am afraid of what they might do. I am afraid of how they will behave. I am afraid of how they will act. I knew evil too early. And it has manifested as very bad social anxiety. It has manifested as not wanting to go out in the world. It is manifested as me wanting to keep myself small, not move, not speak, not do anything. And the only way I have been able to overcome this fear is going out in the world, putting myself through new experiences, doing things I've never done, letting myself explore every little thing that my brain wants to. Like, if I want to go to a painting class, I go to a painting class. If I want to learn how to crochet, I learn how to crochet. If I want to learn how to make candles, I'm going to learn how to make candles, which I'm really good at making candles. I'm very good at making candles. Leaning into the fear of humans in general, like working at a restaurant was also one of my greatest fears, because you have to interact with so many people on a daily basis, right? And I really had to overcome that social anxiety, that fear of people. And all it's done is make me feel safe and happy and free, because I'm able to hold conversations with strangers, and instead of being anxious about like, oh my God, what are they going to say next? Oh my God, what am I going to say next? What am I going to do if they do this? What am I going to do if they do that? Oh my God, are they going to attack me? Are they not? Like, what's going to happen? Instead of having that internal dialogue, my head is free, and I am free to listen to whatever they say to me without sitting in fear and anxiety that something bad is going to happen. And that freedom mentally has led to deeper connections with people. It's led me to be a more open person. It's allowed my personality to blossom in ways I wasn't expecting. So I urge you that if you are fearing something, and obviously have some fucking rationality here, people. If you're, if you have a fear of falling off a bridge, don't go and fall off a bridge. Like, oh God. Like don't be stupid about it. Don't be stupid about it. If you have fear of, something that can hurt you, don't go out and get that thing that can hurt you, or whatever it is. Pour some logic into it. But if you are scared of something that you know is holding you back, lean into the fear. Do things every day that are like exposure therapy that will get you to a better place.
And I used to have a really big fear of abandonment. And then a whole bunch of people I know abandoned me, and it benefited me so greatly because I used to have a crazy bad attachment style. I was either crazy avoidant or crazy anxious. And so most of my friendships and relationships suffered as a result because I would either be way too clingy or I would be pushing them away because I had this crazy fear of abandonment. And then a whole bunch of people abandoned me. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, that really fucking hurt. But now I have a very secure attachment style with the people in my life, and my relationships and friendships have blossomed because I'm like, you know what? I can't really control how people behave. And these people that are in my life right now, they could abandon me tomorrow. And that's something that could happen. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to love them very fiercely and be there for them very fiercely. And I have them in my life right now, and I do not cling and I do not push them away. I cherish them and I have gratitude for them. But what I'm trying to say is if I never got abandoned, if I never had to face one of my greatest fears, which is one of abandonment, I never would have an appropriate attachment style. And I would always forever be pushing and pulling people away. So I had to lean into my fear of abandonment to get what I've always wanted, which is a secure attachment style. You see what I'm saying? Where if you have a fear of failure or a fear of success, go out and fail or go out and succeed and see that it's actually not as bad as you think it is. And the fear really only exists within your mind, not in reality.
Because it's truly when I became what I feared that I have grown into my best self. So say how you feel, do what you want, be safe with it, but don't let fear hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back.